Good morning, or whatever time it is that you're practicing today. We'll begin our chair practice in our chair, getting our feet connected to the earth, feet flat on the ground. Maybe wiggle the toes around a little bit, just kind of get them acclimated, and then settle them down to the ground. Begin to make any adjustments in the seat, finding comfort and ease, yet also finding a strong spine, lengthening the spine. Softening the gaze or closing the eyes. Pause here for a moment as we get settled in. And let's begin to notice the thoughts, the distractions we've brought into our practice today. Acknowledging them, honoring them. And then taking a nice full inhale, exhale, send them off for now. Anytime we come back to those thoughts or distractions, acknowledging them, thanking ourselves for acknowledging them, and then sending them off with an exhale. Bringing ourselves to this present moment. Beginning to notice your breath today. What is the quality? What is the depth? What are the sensations? And just by noticing what's going on with the breath, noticing any changes that might happen. By bringing attention to the breath, do we notice that the breath slows down? We expand a little more on the inhale. We let go a little more on the exhale. Today, I invite us to create an intention of attention and intention. Where intention and attention goes, my energy flows. Where my attention and intention goes, my energy flows. Where my attention and intention goes, my energy flows. As we inhale, let's bring awareness to the abdomen. We can even place our hands there if that's helpful. As we inhale, we feel a push out of the abdomen, a filling up of the lungs. And then as we exhale, send that energy down to the fingers and the toes. Maybe this practice comes with a little challenge and we don't really quite find that flow right away, and that's okay. Enter into these practices with curiosity and invite in an open mind and see what happens. And from here, let's begin to wiggle fingers, wiggle toes. We'll begin at our feet today. So let's notice our toes on the ground, if we can see our toes, maybe. And let's lift our toes, see how wide we can spread them. Maybe we work with one foot at a time. Maybe we work with both feet at the same time. Just, again, being open to the possibilities of what happens, lifting the toes, spreading the toes, and then lowering the toes to the ground. Now let's scrunch up the toes. And then open the toes and scrunch them just a few times at your own pace. If you'd like to coordinate breath, inhale, open the toes, exhale, scrunch. Continue here exploring the toes. And the next time we'll come back to stillness, just settling the toes onto the ground. Let's begin to move the ankles around. Just invite any movement to the ankles. Maybe you tap your feet, maybe you circle, whatever comes to the ankles without overthinking it, letting them move, inviting in movement, working out any stiffness we might have, embracing those pops and cracks. And then maybe if we've been working on one movement, let's kind of switch it up. If you've been pumping, maybe go to circles. If you've been circling, maybe go to pumping. And we'll come back to center with our feet. Beginning to march the legs, lifting one leg, lowering it down, then the other. Beginning on either side and working side to side. If you need to slide out towards the edge of the chair, that's an option, or you can stay scooted back. Wherever we are, let's think of lifting up that spine, lengthening the spine. And let's lower both feet back to the ground. Let's come into our spine. Let's root down through our feet, root down through our sits bones, lengthen through the spine, lift the heart, perhaps lift the chin, squeeze the shoulder blades together, seated cow. As we exhale, begin to tuck and round in the opposite direction, as if you're like a turtle, kind of creeping into its shell, kind of curling up, and then begin to flow. Inhale, lift, open up into our cow. On your exhale, tuck and round into your cat. Just noticing where the spine is at today, what's going on, where we feel mobility, where we feel tightness. And embracing all, embracing the openness, embracing the tightness. And working with what we have today. Take about 3 more full rounds. The next time we exhale through cat will be our last. We'll meet back in a seated mountain pose. We'll find a neutral spine, arms come down by our side, palms facing forward. We root down once again through the feet, really feel the feet connected to the earth. We feel the lift of our spine, the lift of the crown of our head, chin parallel to the earth. From our seated mountain pose, let's begin to sweep our arms. Inhale, let's lift the arms up any amount. Exhale, float the palms down. Continue here, stay nice and steady with the rest of the body. Keeping the feet nice and grounded. If the feet want to pop up, maybe we don't move our arms so much. And let's float the arms back down by the side. From here, let's lift the shoulders, scrunch the shoulders towards the ears, create lots of tension. On an exhale, let it go. If it feels right to have a big open mouth exhale, sticking out the tongue, feel free to explore that. And we'll bring our arms back to neutral, just allowing the arms to be down by the side, palms facing forward. Check in with the posture. Let's take our hands to our laps and begin to turn our head very gently side to side. Kind of noticing what's going on in the neck. And come back to center. Begin to tilt the head side to side. And back to center. From here, we'll begin to wiggle our knees in and out. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And then begin to shake the hands at the same time. And letting it go, releasing the shoulders, maybe letting the head swing. And then come back to neutral, back to hands on the legs, feet on the floor, ankles stacked under knees. Let's reach our left arm up to the sky. Inhale here, exhale, gently tilt to the right. Inhale to center, exhale, float that arm down. Switching sides, right arm lifts up. Exhale, tilt to the left and lower back down. And continue to flow your own pace, moving side to side. As we move here, really rooting down through the feet, through the hips, lengthening through the side body. So sometimes we want to kind of reach through the arm, and that's okay, but see if we can also lengthen through the side body. So we're not overreaching through the limbs. We're getting really some lateral flexion here, creating space for the breath through the side body. Maybe we even pause as we tilt. Let's go ahead and do that. Next time we tilt to the left, let's pause. Take a couple breaths, really focusing that attention and energy to the right lung. And we'll come to the other side, opposite arm lifts, tilt to the right. Now focus on the left lung. And bring it back to center. Let's reach both arms overhead this time and exhale, cactus the arms. From our cactus arms, let's open them up a little bit more, open up through the chest, lift the chin. As we exhale, hands to heart center. Let's take that 4 more times. Inhale, open up, cactus the arms, lift the chin. Exhale, hands to the heart. 3 more at your own pace. When you feel ready, let's meet back with hands at heart center. From here, palms to touch, let's lift the elbows up and then lower the elbows. 4 more times. Let's think about inhale to lift the arms or elbows. Exhale to lower. 2 more. Now pause here, really pressing the palms towards each other, connecting the fingertips, the edges of the hands. And exhale, let it go. Let's circle out the wrists and elbows, shoulders, and then pause in a steady mountain pose. Let's give ourselves a nice big hug, noticing which arm is on top. We'll begin to add some rotation. Again, finding that nice foundation, keeping steadiness through the legs and the hips. Inhale to prepare it, lift and lengthen. Exhale, begin to rotate either direction. And begin to gently rotate side to side. It is the morning time for me, so I am feeling a little stiff, so I'm going to really ease into it. Just being curious about my each side, where I feel the stiffness, where I feel a little more ease. And then we'll come back to center. Notice again which arm is on top. Give yourself another squeeze and then let it go. Pause here. Give yourself a hug. Opposite arm on top. Settle in. Root through the feet, the hips, lengthen through the spine, and then begin to add some rotation once again. Maybe this time the head moves in the opposite direction as the elbows. So as I turn my elbows to the left, I look to the right. We'll gradually make it back to center. Give ourselves one more big squeeze and then let it go. Reach the arms further back if we can, if we have that accessible in our shoulders this morning or today. And then shake out the arms around the shoulders, wiggle the body in any direction. Let's meet in a seated posture. We'll inhale, reach our arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Move through cow and cat. Inhale, lift the heart, arch the spine. Exhale, tuck and round, cat pose. Continue to flow, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. Take your time, there's no rush here. Maybe you're feeling like you have some restless energy you need to move, so you move a little faster. Maybe you're feeling like it's hard to get moving today, so you need to begin a little slower, meeting yourself where you are, and then beginning to balance out the energy. So if you are feeling a little slow to move, I encourage you at some point to begin to challenge yourself and move it a little faster. If you're feeling restless, eventually slowing it down to balance out the energies. That's what our yoga practice is about. It's finding that harmony. Sometimes we use the word balance to our systems to find that happy medium, right? Not too cold, not too hot, not too hard, not too soft, like Goldilocks. Continue to flow. A couple more rounds. Don't worry about the numbers. Be present with the experience, with the movements. The next time that you round into your cat pose will be our last. We'll meet in a seated posture, seated mountain. Let's bring ourselves back towards the back of the chair if you're not already there. We're going to work on our knees a little bit here. So let's begin to lift our left foot off the ground, toes pointing towards the sky, and then begin to bend the left knee, dragging the left foot back. And take your movement pattern, your range of motion. We're going to take several on this side. Continuing to work with the left leg, finding this to be a mindful experience. That's what makes this yoga. All right, we move with our breath. Let's think of inhaling to straighten the leg and then exhale, bending it back. Really contracting that quadricep at the top of the movement, lifting the toes, noticing what we feel. Let's take about 2 more. And even if it gets hard, see if we can work through it. As long as we can keep a steady breath and a intentional movement. We can lower the left foot back down. Let's kind of wiggle that left leg out a little bit, wiggle it around. We'll come to the other side. Begin to lift the right foot off the ground, toes to the sky, press through the heel, engage the quadricep. Exhale, lower down, drag the heel back as far as you have space or accessibility, and continue to move. We might notice this side feels a little more challenging. This side might feel a little easier. Maybe it feels pretty similar. And as we're doing this, check in with the posture every once in a while. If we begin to slack our posture, I invite you to reset. Keep that energy flowing through the center of our body. Let's take 2 more full rounds wherever you are. We'll lower that leg to the ground, wiggle that leg out. And we'll come back to seated mountain. I invite us to take a pause here, check in with the breath. We'll scoot back towards the edge of the chair. We'll begin to make our way towards standing. So we can have the option to begin by rocking the body forward and backwards, testing the waters, weight shifting. When and if we feel ready, we begin to come to standing. Inhale, let's come to mountain. Exhale, sit back down. And you just continue to flow here. I'm going to adjust my camera a little bit. So begin to inhale, stand up. Exhale, lower. Moving at your own pace. And the next time we come to our standing mountain, let's pause here. Finding some steadiness in our mountain, take a moment to adjust the feet so they're about hip distance apart, whatever that interpretation is for you. Rooting through the balls of the feet, the center of the heels. And check in, do you tend to shift your weight forward or back? If so, gently bring yourself to as much center as you can find. And again, do you tend to favor standing towards one leg more than the other? If you can, bring yourself to a more centered position. Let's root down through the feet. Keep the toes light. They're on the ground, but they're light. They're not scrunching. Begin to engage the quadriceps, engage the glutes, kind of tighten those muscles up. As we press down, we lengthen up through the spine, we soften the shoulders, we reach the crown of the head towards the sky. And although we're engaging these muscles, can we still breathe? Make sure we're not holding our breath. And then kind of let it go. Still find a nice, strong, steady stance, but we can let go of that tension, that contraction. Still see if we can keep that lift. And then we'll flow the arms as we did seated. Inhale, let's lift them up. Exhale, let's float them down. Continue to float them up and down at your own pace. Next time they lift up, let's pause with both arms overhead, extended mountain pose. Reach the arms up, but keep the shoulders in their sockets. Make sure the shoulders aren't scrunched by the ears. Keep them down, keep some containment here. And then exhale, hands come to heart center. Let's begin to march. Come to our standing marches. We can keep our hands at our heart. We could keep our hands on our hips. We could always use a prop, a wall, or our chair. And then from here, we'll begin to tap opposite hand, opposite leg. Maybe today we don't actually touch our leg, but we bring that intention behind it and be curious about what happens. We're going to continue to move here. Anytime you need a break, you take a break. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's pause back in mountain, kind of check in what's going on. Where do we feel the energy flowing through our body? What sensations do we feel? Begin to kind of rock in a circular motion. No right or wrong way to do this. Just what is your interpretation of a circular motion in this position? And then switch directions. And then we'll come back to center, back to mountain pose. And if we like the use of our chair, we can use our chair here. We're going to come into a warrior 2. So I'm going to keep the chair to my right hip. I'm going to step my right foot out, turn my right toes to face the back of the chair, bend my right knee. My left foot might scoot back a little bit. Now, if I were to look down at my feet, my right heel would be drawing this imaginary line through the arch of my left foot, finding warrior 2. Maybe we reach our arms up and look over the right fingertips, or we can keep our hand resting on the chair. So finding your version of warrior 2, finding nice strong pose here, rooting the feet into the ground, feeling that. And as we root down, can we find a little more lift through the rest of the body? Can we soften the gaze? Can we soften the jaw? Let's lower our hands, straighten our right knee, pause here. From here, lift the arms back up, keeping the knee straight. And begin to kind of explore shifting the weight forward, backwards, noticing what's going on, keeping a steadiness in the legs. And then back to center, lower the arms. Let's bend the knee once again, warrior 2, lengthening the arms out. From here, we'll lower the arms, straighten the knee, and we'll begin to move. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, come back up. Let's take several more. Again, don't worry about the number. Be present with the experience, noticing what's going on with the legs, the hips, the arms. The next time we move into warrior 2, we'll pause. Once again, let's hold for 3, 2, 1. Take our time to walk out of the side, shake out the legs, roll out the shoulders. Take any movement that feels interesting. We'll move to the other side. So now I'll turn my left foot to face the back of the chair, right foot steps out, bend into my left knee, any amount, get my balance, get my foundation. Left hand can stay on the chair, or we can reach our arms out, look over to the left, and we'll pause for a moment. And then let's lower our hands, straighten our knee, pause here. Reach our arms back up, kind of find that forward, backward movement a little bit here. And back to center. Let's bend the knee, come back to warrior 2, and we'll flow. Warrior 2, straighten the knee, lower the arms. Moving at your own pace, inhaling to lower arms and straighten, exhale to shift into warrior 2. Next time we're in Warrior Two, we'll pause for 3, 2, 1. Take our time, come back to center. We can keep that chair wherever is comfortable for us. If we need it by us, just in case, we keep it by us. Round the shoulders. Let's shift the weight forward, backwards, side to side. Let's inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, let's bring hands to heart, sit into our chair pose. Continue to flow. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, chair. 2 more. Next time we're in chair, I invite us to pause. See if we can lengthen the spine, lift the heart a little bit more. And then press to our mountain, pause and mountain. Let's explore our 5-pointed star. So taking feet wide, turning toes out, arms come towards the sky. Let's inhale here. Keep our arms and legs where they are. Exhale, send the energy, send the attention out to the fingertips. Inhale, bring attention to navel center. Exhale, send the energy towards our toes. If our arms become way too tired, let's go ahead and bend our elbows. That's totally fine. So create your interpretation of a star. You could always bring your hands to your heart. Let's take that again. Inhale at navel center. Exhale, send the energy, the attention out through the fingertips. Inhale, navel center. Exhale, down the legs to the toes. Bring our hands to our heart. Pause here and reflect. What did that experience feel like? Were you able to access that experience or stay curious? Was it easier to find the experience through the fingers or the toes? Let's bring ourselves back to 5-pointed star and begin to move through moonflowers. Bend our knees, bend our elbows. Continue to move here, working at our own pace. And we'll eventually make our way back to 5-pointed star. Take one more full breath. Hands to heart, walk the feet in. Find our mountain, rock around for a moment. And bring our hands to our heart. Let's bring our arms by our side. This time we'll inhale, reach our arms up straight in front of us, any amount. Exhale to chair. Back to mountain. Inhale, reach the arms up and in front of us. Exhale, chair. Inhale here. Exhale, mountain. Inhale, arms float up. Exhale, hands to heart. We come to chair. One more time. Inhale, mountain, or exhale, mountain. Inhale, reach arms up. Exhale, chair. Pause and chair. Lift our heart a little more. Lift our gaze. 3, 2, 1. Let it go around the shoulders. Shake out the limbs. From our mountain pose, let's reach our left arm towards the sky. Maybe the right hand is on the chair. Exhale, tilt to the right. Really rooting down evenly through both feet. Do you notice you want to lean to the right? If you can, try to keep that steadiness, that centering between right and left foot as we lengthen through the side body. Let's take it back to center around the shoulders. Opposite side, right arm reaches up. We lengthen, remembering to find some length through the side body, tilt to the left. And find that steadiness, that evenness through both feet. Soften the opposite shoulder. Let's lower that hand back down, round the shoulders. And we'll pause in mountain. From here, let's step our left foot back just about a footprint. The feet are in their railroad tracks. I know you probably can't really see my feet, but you can see my legs. My feet are in railroad tracks still. My foot has stepped back just about 1 footprint's length. And I'm going to stay right here, bring hands to my heart. We can always stay right here in center. Otherwise, let's begin to explore adding a little rotation to the right, towards the direction of that leg that stepped forward. Any amount. Maybe it's just a hair. Maybe it's a little further. Where can we find a little rotation? Can we still feel our feet connected to the ground? Do we still feel length in our spine? Can we feel our breath moving fluidly through our body? From here, if we have our hands at our heart, let's lift our elbows, press our palms together. Maybe we can turn a little bit more here. And let's bring it back to center. Let's step it back, mountain pose. Take a moment between sides. And we'll step our opposite foot back. We'll step our right foot back just about a footprint. Our feet are in their railroad tracks. Again, we can stay right here, or we can begin to explore rotating to the left, any amount. Maybe it's a hair, maybe it's a little further. And we breathe. We find that connection through our feet, the length in our spine, the steadiness of our breath. Pressing hands towards each other, lifting elbows. Once again, noticing if we can add a little more rotation. And we'll bring it all back to center, back to mountain. Lower the arms, open and close the hands a few times. Let's find a little movement. Just begin to move your hands any direction really, but just opening the hands, maybe moving the arms up across the body and keeping them in different planes of movement as we shake our wrists out. And then let's round the shoulders, meet back in a mountain. And we'll come to our tree pose. So we begin to shift the weight to the right foot, lift the left heel off the ground. This might be our tree. Maybe we stay here, grow our branches. Otherwise, we can open our hip, rest our heel on the opposite ankle or leg, press foot into leg, leg into foot, press the right foot into the ground, lengthen through the spine. Let's bring hands to heart to begin. Take 2 steady breaths. And then if it feels appropriate, begin to reach the arms up, finding your expression of tree. And we'll pause here for several breaths. And from our tree, can we bring our hands back to our heart before we undo our legs? And then come back to mountain. Let's shift the weight around. Feel free to kick up the ankles. Pause in mountain. And we'll come to the other side. Shift the weight to the left foot. Peel the right heel off the ground. Stay here. Grow your branches. Or open up. Heel on foot or ankle or opposite leg. Pressing through the left foot, grounding ourselves. Pressing right foot into left leg into right foot. Standing up nice and tall. Hands can stay at the heart, or maybe we begin to grow the branches and we pause. Can we begin to bring our hands back to heart and then release our legs? From here, I invite you to take any last standing postures, movements you would like, and then we'll meet back in our chair. Finding our seated mountain pose once again, feet connect to the earth. We lengthen through the spine. Let's scoot back out towards the edge of the chair to give ourselves space, hands on the lap, on the knees. Let's inhale, move through cow, exhale, move through cat. 2 more times. And back to center. Let's reach our right arm across our body. Hand can come anywhere, left hand can come anywhere on that right arm to support it, softening the shoulder, and then maybe turning the head to look to the right. We'll pause here. Beginning to find longer exhales, We inhale, notice the length. We exhale a little bit longer. If my inhale is a 2, maybe my exhale is a 3 or even a 4. Bring it back to center and take it to the other side. Finding the arm across the body and then maybe turning the head to look to the left. Pausing here and breathing, finding our sinking breath, our longer exhale. We'll bring it back to center. Let's bring our hands to the heart for a moment. And then we'll lower our arms by our side. Let's tilt the left ear towards the left shoulder, reach the right fingertips towards the ground, or the hand could even grab a hold of your chair. You can always take your left hand to kind of add a little more weight to the head. So you're not yanking on the head, you're simply allowing your hand to rest there, and the natural weight will add a little extra sensation if that is required or interesting. Take our time to lift the head back to center, check in, and then we'll switch sides, right ear towards right shoulder, lengthening the left hand towards the ground or the chair. Right hand could add a little extra, and we breathe. We'll lift it back to center when we feel ready. Inhale, lengthen up nice and tall. Exhale, chin to chest. And we could stay right here. We could take the hands, even interlacing the fingers behind the back of the head. Again, not to yank down, but to add a little extra natural weight and sensation. Otherwise, keep the hands on the lap. And we'll lift back up, roll the shoulders. Let's float our left arm back up, and then this time take it across the body to the right knee. Take our right hand to our hip or the chair and begin to rotate, pulling right shoulder blade towards the center, opening up the heart, allowing the gaze to move wherever feels natural. And continue to find length through the spine as we hold in our rotation. Inhaling, feeling a sense of lifting. Exhaling, feeling a sense of settling. And let's take it back to center very mindfully. We'll reach our right arm up, cross it over to the left knee, left hand to the hip or the chair. Begin to rotate, pulling left shoulder blade towards center, allowing your gaze to move in any direction, softening the shoulders. Inhale completely, exhale a little bit longer. And we'll bring ourselves back to center. We'll take our hands to our knees. And we can find our cat one more time, rounding our spine. If it's accessible to us, we could even come to our forearms or reach our hands towards the toes. Take a moment here to find this expression of forward fold, of rounding the spine. And from here, finding any last movements that might serve you, mindfully rising back up, taking any last movements that may serve you prior to our seated Shavasana. And then gradually we will make our way to our Shavasana. And I invite you to find a place of comfort, make any adjustments, grab a blanket. And once you can find stillness, resting your hands any way on the lap, maybe even closing the eyes or softening the gaze. And once we arrive, let's take a moment to take a full inhale, a complete long exhale. And before we move into our guided body scan, I invite you to say something kind to yourself about your practice today. It can be anything. Really feel this kind word in your heart. Take a moment to bring attention to heart center. Maybe even imagining a beautiful emerald green color and repeating that statement to yourself several times, and inviting the intention that you really feel that love and compassion for yourself in your heart center. Noticing any resistance. And then letting that go. Today, let's bring attention to the crown of our head, the top of our head. Imagine someone begins a nice scalp massage on the top of our head, relaxing our head, traveling all the way down the back of the head, bringing attention to the ears, the temple, the jaw, the chin. Beginning to soften the muscles around the mouth, around the cheeks and nose, eyes, and deep into the eye sockets. Softening the eyebrows, the space between the eyebrows, the forehead. Traveling our awareness down the back of the neck, the front of the neck, the throat space, to the collarbones, to the shoulders, down the upper arms, elbows, lower arms, wrists, hands, fingers, fingertips. Inviting a sense of ease to both arms, allowing them to feel a little more connected to our lap. Awareness travels through heart center once again, the chest, the abdomen, softening the abdomen a little bit more, feeling deep into our core. Awareness traveling to the upper portion of the spine, shoulder blades, down the spine, down the back, the middle back, the lower back. Releasing any tension we might be holding onto in the back muscles and tissues. Traveling to the glutes, relaxing the glutes, the hips, hip creases. Relaxing the pelvic floor muscles. Softening the upper legs, the space of the knees, the shins, the calves, the ankles, the tops of the feet, the soles of the feet. The big toe, second toe, third toe, fifth toe. Feeling the feet nice and connected to the ground beneath. As we inhale, we invite in new positive healing energy. As we exhale, we let go of the past, we let go of the old, we let go of any toxicity. And then we settle in and we allow ourselves to enjoy the next moments of rest and stillness, and you'll hear my voice again in a moment. And begin to bring awareness back to the physical body, back to this present moment, inviting in movement through fingers, toes, Gradually adding on to wrists, ankles, and the head and neck. Take all the time you need to arrive out of your Shavasana. And we'll eventually gather hands at heart center. Thumbs to heart, heart to thumbs, lengthening through the spine. Inhaling together, we can exhale, seal our practice with an Om. Om. Taking a moment to thank yourselves for arriving to your practice today, taking this time of self-care, knowing it might be a challenge to make it here. But I hope you can feel the effects of our practice. You can take them with you throughout your day, throughout your week, until you come back to your practice. Thank you for allowing me to be your guide. The light in me honors the light in each of you. Namaste. Thank you, yogis. I hope you all are well. Hugs.